G'day guys, Cam Wild Touring. If you've already got a canopy on your ute or you've shopped around for one in the past, you'll be well aware that there's a massive price range on these things. It's really easy for people to say that you get what you pay for, but that's hard to comprehend unless you've had a really good chance to have a look at a cheaper canopy and compare it to something quality made. I've been in a bit of a unique position. I've recently gone from probably the very bottom end of cheap canopies, a checker plate Chinese import, and I've replaced it with something Australian made, something of a really high standard. I was in the workshop with both those canopies there at the same time, and I was able to run a camera over them both and really highlight the differences between them. I'm still a firm believer that you should live within your means. A canopy like this is not going to suit every budget, and it's not going to meet everyone's needs. Having said that, let me show you what you get what you pay for actually means. So we're in the ThunderFab workshop now. You can see my old canopy there, the new one there, and there's also one sort of in the corner of the shop, probably is another brand new one for another customer, the ThunderFab boys are building. I'm with Stevie, owner, operator, fabricator from ThunderFab.
How are you, Cam?
Good, mate. So what I want to do is show, highlight the real differences between like a real cheap sort of import checker plate canopy like I've got, which is pretty commonly available.
Yep.
And then something, not necessarily custom made, but something quality made in Australia.
Yep.
So maybe if we start with the checker plate one. Righto, Stevie, you've seen this thing a dozen times now. It's been back in the workshop because it was just taken off my car a couple of days ago.
Yep.
But yeah, my main issues with it were that it's just absolutely fallen apart. Every single weld has cracked. And what was starting to really concern me was that all the cracked welds were starting to join up. And I was pretty seriously concerned that an entire panel was going to fall off on my last trip.
Yeah, okay.
And then on top of that, dust and water ingress was terrible. It got so much dust and water through it, it's not funny. Why do you reckon it's fallen apart on me? What is it about this particular canopy? You got any sort of insight?
You know, without ripping other manufacturers and, let's be honest, there's definitely a price difference between what we're offering and this as well.
Yeah.
But, just from having a look at it, it looks like there's no frame as such. So I guess the skin of the canopy is the structure of the canopy.
Yeah.
Which, there's going to be concerns with strength there with what you're trying to do with it. There's multiple different panels that they've welded together rather than try and keep it all like the back wall one piece, front wall one piece, roof. Try and do it like that. You can see this section here is one piece, wraps around here, welds here, and down there, so that's all cracked.
So heaps of additional joins, just more sort of room for failure.
Exactly right. More room for failure.
Actually, I've noticed that's one of the key differences. We'll show the one you guys built in a minute, but I've noticed on the ceiling and the floor, like you said, it's actually got a seam the whole way through the guts of it.
Yep.
Which is kind
of... Even the roof's not even one piece. It's it's a couple of bits just with a big weld through the middle of it, which is obviously not ideal.
Yeah. So lack of internal framework and heaps of extra sort of welds and joins that could have been avoided with maybe some better design.
Yeah, a bit more engineering, but I guess with that comes cost. So that's, this is definitely on the budget end.
Yeah. And
they're mass producing it. Looking at it, it's all MIG welded aluminium, which is, MIG weld's okay. Aesthetics, if you're chasing aesthetics, and TIG's obviously a far superior way to go.
Heaps neater, eh?
Yeah, a lot neater. More time consuming, I guess, but you can punch through this with a alley MIG, and I guess again keeps the labour down to a minimum. That's why they've managed to keep the cost down.
Yeah. Some more key differences I've noticed between the two. Where they've put the struts, and heaps of people have seen this canopy in my videos and mentioned that the angle the struts was on is wrong. Now, I've never really understood why, but do you reckon that could have been like a bit of a reason why as well, like some extra force on those joins? Because I must say, the worst cracked spots do seem to be in these corners. Do you think the gas struts have something to do with that, or?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's not as if you drive around with the doors open or anything like that, but I guess when the strut's compressed with the door closed, and you're smashing over corrugations and stuff, you know, it's just got that, it's trying to open up. And I guess it's just an additional force.
Instead of, because they're designed to lift the door up, I mean, normally, aren't they? But the way they're positioned here, it's sort of pushing the door out as well.
It is, yeah. And there's sort of no like negative torque on it, so it's not pulling it in to seal. It's sort of, as soon as the latches are unlocked, it's straight away it's open.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus they're quite, you know, they're quite heavy for what they are.
Right. Now, hinges, these are, they use piano hinges on these.
Yep.
Which is fairly common, hey?
Yeah, fairly common. I mean, it looks like they've got this rubber membrane through here, I guess, to try and...
Because obviously the piano hinges are, you know, water can sort of seep through.
Water can seep through, so I guess they're just trying to divert that water round down the gutters, which is fair enough.
All right, and then if you want to shut that door, I'll show these latches are sort of your run-of-the-mill budget sort of latch.
Yeah, it's just a unlock latch. There's no compression on it. When you lock it down, it doesn't pull the door into the seal.
Right, that's a huge difference too. I've also, like on a personal note, like while I've been traveling, the corrugations always sort of rattle these things loose, and then I tighten them up. But it's just, I don't know what it is, but everything just cross threads and jams up and it constantly comes loose. Yeah, it was forever. It's been adjusted like 50 times and it just keeps coming loose. So.
Yeah. I mean, probably, you know, for driving around Perth and stuff like that, there's probably no issues with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start doing what you were doing on your last trip and corrugated roads for extended periods and
yeah.
You know,
what I will say though, Stevie, just shut that for us for a sec. Like you said, like driving around Perth and stuff, it's probably okay. These do have locks on them, so you can lock your tools or whatever, your camping gear or whatever you've got in there. But what's been happening is I'm seeing people, crooks stick a steel bar or something on there and they just turn that and the thing just falls apart. Now that's not happened to me. This hasn't been broken into. I never locked it, to be honest. But what did happen was one morning I went to open the thing and the handle literally just with my brute force just snapped off. And it was actually one of these main side handles, but because I didn't want to buy a replacement, I just moved to the back because I never opened the back door anyway. So what we've got here, let's talk about weight. I mean, you guys, you were pretty switched on. You already had a feeling that this was going to be similar weight to building something ourselves. Yep. With a proper structure. I wasn't too sure because it's very lightweight construction inside. There's little to no frame, like we said. I thought it would be lighter. Mm-hmm. However, what we've got is the canopy itself. Then we have like a subframe that it's sitting on. Then it's sitting on like a standard dual cab tray, which are fairly light construction. But there is like 3 levels to that floor and it's all extra material, hey?
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So that's it. I mean, it's your typical aluminium tray, standard, you know, probably what a lot of people have got on their vehicles, and then, you know, standalone canopy sits on top, holds it down.
So this ended up coming to, I want to say, was it 256 kilos?
Yeah, I was going to say 255 point something.
Okay, I'll overlay the footage of it anyway, just so we got it right. So, which was pretty much what we expected. Mm-hmm. 256 kilos, there you go. Mm-hmm. Right, let's flick to the new canopy, which is sitting here. We expected, if you want to hold that camera for a sec. Yep. You can be cameraman, I'll grab that light out. Oh, that's one more thing I'll say, I forgot to mention. So there's rubber seals on all this. Stevie mentioned that these are not compression locks. So you set the tension or how you set the gap in the door by adjusting those locks. And wherever it is, it's locked in at that, and it should be compressing that seal somewhat to stop dust and water getting in. That's never worked. It's always had a heap of dust and water come through it. These have worked just as poorly. In fact, right now, there's a couple of kilos of bull dust in there, and the other one I believe is full of water last time I looked, because it's actually rotted all my recovery gear. So yeah.
Nice.
Right, new one. I was going to move that light. Because we've powder coated the inside all black inside this canopy, it's kind of difficult to see in there inside the workshop. So the new one, this is 1600mm long, the old one was 1800mm.
Yes, yep.
I was quite keen to go shorter because the standard tray length was 1650, so I always had a lot of overhang on that. So much so that I was jackknifing the trailer once and actually smashed the old camper trailer into the back of that canopy. So you guys were quite keen to build a shorter one too. Yep. Why was that? Did it just come down to like good use of material or?
No, I think, well, for us, we feel that the 1600mm canopy on a dual cab especially, it's just better suited for handling and weight distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you had an extra 200mm hanging over the back, it's just, you can see already through the centre line of the rear wheel up. If you had another 200, you've got, you know, best part of 3/4 of the canopy.
Yeah.
Over the rear axle.
And if they're loading weight over that back end, if it's not distributed properly, then...
That's right, then you've got spare tyres and jerry cans and,
yeah,
you know, whatever else you want to put on, ladders and stuff like that. So, you know, it is going to be, it's just too much weight over the back, that we think anyway. And it's lighter. It's going to be lighter.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you were chasing.
Yeah.
You were chasing lightweight.
When you guys, because what happened with this was, it had to be built strong enough to have, I came to you and I said, I want to put 110 kilos of tinny on the roof.
Yep.
I want to put an outboard motor in the back. I want a big water tank underneath. I've got bar work, all the rest of it. Pretty much your classic touring rig, a lot of weight. So, and then you went to an engineer and basically gave them the dimensions that we wanted. And then he used SolidWorks.
Yep, he uses SolidWorks.
Yeah,
yep.
And I'll overlay some of the footage of him designing this thing because it was really cool to watch. And then he was able to do finite element analysis. I've nailed that now, eh?
Yeah.
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 Basically, he was able to simulate putting 110 kilos on the roof and taking this thing off-road on corrugations, which is what I want to do.
Yep.
And tell you guys exactly where the stress points were, and then design that structure around that.
Correct.
To make it really solid and safe.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So you came back with this, which has got a lot more structure in it than the other one. And my first concern was going to be that it was going to be too heavy. Now that it's all done, and you guys sort of kept telling me not to stress too much about it, now that it's finished and that we've weighed them both, this thing is actually lighter than my old one.
Yeah. Righto, that's the canopy fully suspended under the weight of the crane. And that's the final weight. See that? 233.4. That's 22 kilos lighter. It's not bad, eh? 8 more strength. So.
We measured them the same. It had toolboxes, guards,
Yep.
entire canopy ready to bolt on.
Yep, mounts.
No water tanks or anything like that.
The whole lot.
Yeah.
Yep, roof rack on.
Yeah.
Well.
So basically they were measured at the same stage. So this is lighter, amazingly. Not by a hell of a lot.
20 kilos, I mean, it's, you know, 20 kilos.
Jerry can.
It's 20 kilos, yeah, it's a jerry can.
2 cartons of beer.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I should hit all my weight goals. I'm gonna do this all properly. It's going over a weigh bridge and all the rest. It's gonna be legal. But yeah, I'll be able to have all the toys. Yeah, and be legal, which is wicked. So, the frame. One of the major differences is the way you guys have built it. It's got a flush floor. There's no step in like the other one had. Which means it is just a better use of space, really. I don't have to go build a subfloor into this thing.
Yep.
On the floor, you put this strut. What was the idea of that?
So the strut is the same idea as the rest of the canopy, the walls and the roof.
Yeah, this is all channel.
It's all channel, yeah. So just so we can have a modular interior. So we've just got options to mount what we want, wherever we want to put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the idea behind that. Same what we're going to do with your fridge.
Yeah.
We'll have an enclosure for that with some mounting feet, and you know we can pick up on this strut.
So no, I'll never have to drill holes in the wall, the roof, the floor. Everything can fix to these.
Exactly.
Struts, even on the doors.
Yep. Yeah, on the doors as well. You know, because we've got central locking that we still need to wire up on this one, but you know we can put all our wiring through there, or we can mount lights, or you know whatever we want to do. But yeah, that's the idea. No penetrations through the floor or the walls or the roof or anything like that. Keep it the integrity of it.
Yeah, cool. Latches, you're just talking about them, they're central locking.
Yeah, exactly right. So, you know, we can lock the latch once it's down and in the lock position. This little solenoid just pushes that pin in, and then that way, you know, we can't
turn it.
Yeah, we can't turn it. So the thing's locked.
That action you're doing there too, you can see that what I was talking about before. So this is a compression lock, so you can see when we actually lock it, it pulls the door into the canopy and compresses that seal.
Yeah,
is that right?
That's exactly right. So it's, you know, that's where we're getting our compression on the seal, and it's adjustable as well. So we can move that in and out to, I think it was 4 mil was the optimum compression for this type of pinch weld. So you know, we can. That's fully adjustable here.
Yeah. So what I thought I'd do for you, just to demonstrate that water and dust ingress issue that I had in this, is I bought a little cheap smoke machine off eBay, and I'm going to close all the doors on this, smoke this thing out, and you know, you'll see the smoke coming out of all the cracks and the holes and all the rest of it, obviously, and that sort of demonstrates how I was getting water and dust inside it, and then I'll move all this setup into the new canopy and I'll show you the difference. So that'll be cool. Let's do that. Straight away. So that's the door seals not doing their job, obviously. Should we smoke out the new one? So far, so good. We had smoke straight away on the last one, didn't we? Nothing yet. Got to be happy with that. Righto, that's more than we put in the first one, and that's looking wicked. Right, I can't even see inside now. That's just totally smoked out. That's thick in there. It's really good. You happy with that?
Oh yeah.
That's wicked.
Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's the difference. Proper seals, proper locks, proper construction, no cracked welds, and you end up with a canopy that's waterproof and dustproof. Let's crack this open so you can have a look at how much is in here. Sorry about smoking out your shed, boys. Whoa. Like a disco. So this hinge is different as well. The other one had a stainless steel piano hinge. What's this one called?
This is a Cenaflex continuous hinge, they call it. Yeah, so it's all one piece. There's no mechanical movement as such in it, no mechanical parts. It just flexes on itself. It's got like a separate little membrane in there. It just pivots on that.
Right.
It's all one piece as well, so water can't come in.
Yeah.
And we've glued it with Cenaflex to the door and to the frame as well. And we've got sealed aluminium rivets as well that we've attached it to the frame with. Okay. So, you know, they're sealed on the back, so water can't sneak in through there.
Gotcha. So with the piano hinge and the other one, they had to run a separate sort of seal here. Because this is one piece,
water coming through.
Water will just run along it and then come down these gutters that have been designed into this, down the gutters, and then sort of run out the canopy without ever actually getting inside the canopy.
Yeah, yep.
That's really cool.
That's the idea behind it.
Putting a plastic hinge in, when you first said that to me, it blew my mind because I'd never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
But I've done a heap of research on these. These are really widely used. You guys obviously already knew that, but I didn't. They're really widely used in these kind of applications, especially industrial sort of stuff. Like they're used a lot in freight and mining and heavy industry. Yep. And apparently they're tested 20,000 cycles, not to failure, but that's just as much testing as they run. 20,000 cycles, no dramas whatsoever.
Yeah, no dramas. I mean, it's nothing really new. Like you say, it's in heavy industry and mining and whatnot, and there's other manufacturers out there using this type of hinge as well. So
yeah. Oh, another thing which I've taken for granted now, I actually fit underneath this canopy. I did fit under that one just then when we were shooting that, but only because it's sitting on the workbench there. Normally, when the old canopy was sitting on the chassis, yeah, it wasn't clear in my head. So heaps more clearance on this, and that's adjustable too. So you can adjust the height and the torque of this door. Height, obviously, so you can clear your head, or if you've got a boat rack on top or awning or whatever, you can adjust the height to clear it. And then torque. You can adjust the torque because say you want to bolt max tracks or something like that on this and it's a little bit heavier, you can adjust that torque.
Yeah, get that extra bit of support there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Stevie was talking about the gas struts before. They'll pull in here. So whereas the other one was pushing out, this is pulling in, so there's always sort of pressure against that, just helps with the seal. Another important thing to consider when choosing a canopy builder that is often overlooked is the mounting brackets. These are images from a competitor's canopy that ThunderFab had in their workshop for repairs. So I've noticed that these brackets are obviously stainless steel. A lot of other canopy manufacturers, you were telling me, use aluminium, and they as for the brackets, and they weld the brackets directly to the bottom of the canopy and then bolt to the chassis rail.
Yeah, yep. What we've done, we've used 316 stainless, bolt to the canopy, and then bolt to the chassis of the vehicle.
Right.
Just to allow a slight little bit of movement.
Yeah.
So you can't get any cracks in the alley.
Okay, so because it's not rigid, you're not going to get that sort of metal fatigue.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So with corrugations and bumps and dunes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then obviously just being stainless, it's a stronger grade. There's a balance between weight and strength, isn't there? Stainless is stronger but heavier, which is why we build the canopies out of aluminium.
Yep.
But things like this that are really critical,
yep.
You've gone stainless for this.
Yeah, marine grade stainless, so you don't have to worry about corrosion or anything like that.
Yeah. What else?
Toolboxes?
Yeah, toolboxes is something you guys have made for this. This is something you're going to end up selling the guards and the toolboxes and the rear light panel separately, hey?
Yeah, we will be. Yep, because I mean, you know, this can be used on anything if you're building a trailer or, you know, you want to retrofit something onto your original tray back ute. You know, boxes are perfect for that.
I can see that being really popular. So if you've got a standard sort of aluminium tray like I had, you can tart it up with all this kind of stuff and make it look like a really flash, sort of unique.
Yeah, yep. I mean, we're going to sell the tail light assembly as well. So, yeah, it's 1800 wide, so that'll fit most trays.
Yeah.
You can tart up your old aluminium tray.
Trundle toolbox on...
trundle drawers.
Some, if you want them. I didn't get them on mine just because I was quite concerned about weight. I probably would have had room now.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, yep. I wasn't too confident at the time. Now I am. Now it's been on the scales. One really clear indication that this was built better than the checker plate one was when we were weighing it, because we lifted it up. You lifted it straight up off the racks.
We did.
Which was no dramas whatsoever. It's been built for that. We lifted up my old one off the racks, and the racks had completely bent.
Yeah, wasn't loving it.
No, so I've got to straighten them out because someone wants to buy that. Don't laugh. I'm not ripping him off. He knows exactly what it looks like. He's paying me pretty much scrap metal value for it.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
He knows it's got cracks and stuff in it.
Yep.
Righto. So yeah, stronger, sealed properly against dust and water ingress, lighter, and yeah, everything inside is modular.
That's really the main difference, isn't it?
I think so. By the time you guys see this, the website's going to be up. I'll put the link in the description below, so have a look. Prices, weights, everything. They want to be really clear about all this. They don't want to waste your time with quotes and stuff if it's out of your budget or out of your weight range or whatever. Everything's there, so you don't have to waste your time or theirs. Have a look and get in contact with them and build something beautiful like this. Buy one of these. Just come here and buy one. Yeah.
Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. Long dirt road, all on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Write my name in the stone. Cause I'm coming back home. Cause I'm coming back home. Right back where I left because I know my people needed me. Diamond in the rough, I don't know what it is they see in me. Go down as a legend in my city cause we beat the streets. Trying to spread the wealth around the block, no I can't keep from me.